So I just finished eating. I got to the beach. But I was sitting in my car watching a video and I ended up seeing a clip that actually just made so much sense. And I feel like it ties right into exactly what I was just talking about with using the tools on the spiritual level and getting through the practice to get to the goal. And what he said was there was a salesperson at one of his organizations who asked, "Can I purchase an assistant on my own dime?" And he obviously allowed his salesperson to get that assistant, but that salesperson ended up quadrupling their finances and making 4 to 6 times more sales in the span of a year because he had bought back his time from his assistant. And I genuinely do feel like that makes so much sense, and that's something I need to do because of the fact that I waste a lot of time. I don't use my time adequately because there's a lot of small tasks I have to get done. And luckily enough, I have an amazing girlfriend who wants to be like my assistant. And so if I can figure out tasks and delegate them to her, she will gladly go do them. And so I'm lucky. But if you're in a situation where you want to grow and you want to make a change in your life, then you're going to need to look at how can I audit my time, look at what I'm spending my time on, where I'm spending my energy, and then use that time or get someone who can do those things so that you get more time back to go do the heavy hitting things that are going to bring you the most success. Now, I don't know why I guess I have thought about that, but I don't know why I haven't implemented it more to just be able to reach more success because it makes so much sense. If there's 10 billion things I have to do and a lot of them are necessities, but a lot of them also don't move the needle, why am I doing the small things that don't move the needle instead of the big ones to make bigger progress in shorter amounts of time? Now, now I'm on my way down to the beach. I got my little doohickey set up, and I really want to take a half second to jump from the current conversation and bring something in that'll make it all connect. And that thing, oh my God, it is so beautiful out here. But that thing that'll really help everything connect is the understanding of clarity, understanding what you need to know, what you need to do, why you're doing it. And once you know all those things, then you're actually able to go out and do something meaningful. You know what I mean? Because something that I've been struggling with, at least when it comes to content, is knowing what to create, how to create it, in a process to make it easier. Now, if you don't know what you're creating and how you're going to create something, it's hard to get into a process and a system to create something a lot. I feel like it's a pretty simple system where you look at what you're trying to do, how you're trying to get it done, and ask yourself, is this a repeatable process? And if it is, and you've done something that can be done over and over and over, then you're in a position where now you can be as successful as possible because of the fact you can then go get that assistant I was talking about in the last section. Because think about it. If you break down what you do into a simple process, and that simple process is repeatable, and you pay someone to go do the things that you need done, but it does not move the needle, now you're buying back that time to go use it in a meaningful way. And if somebody can't complete that task because you know you have a repeatable process that systematically works every time, then you can replace them and get somebody who does it to, again, free up your time, allow you to go do the big needle moving things. Automatic mode. So there we go. Yeah, so for me, video editing, video recording in general, everything related, what I realize is a lot more people are actually interested that you're willing to do it and that you have the
Right.
nuts to actually get behind the camera. Like even walking around like this, holding this, most people, more than likely when they see it, they're like, oh, that's a YouTuber, that's a social media person, that's so cool.
Right.
But because we're the people trying to do it right now, we feel like, oh, I must look weird, I must look like a weirdo. I don't know.
I think it's different when you're doing it solo too. Cause like
Oh yeah,
this, I would never do this by myself.
I dig that. Yeah,
Like I would never do this by myself. But with you, that doesn't feel weird at all.
nah, I
It
dig
doesn't
it.
feel weird at all. Which is
I
kind of
mean,
funny how the mind works.
yeah,
But
cause I mean, there's even a bunch of people who wouldn't jack a car, but as soon as they buddy doing it, they'll do it too. Feel me?
right, that's fair.
You feel me? We're a social creature, so it's a thing of even if I'm getting made fun of for doing this or whatever, we're doing it together. That
I
sounds like
mean,
some loser
it
shit.
takes the
I can't
sting
even
out
lie.
of it.
Oh
It
God.
takes the sting out of it. That's all. Nobody wants to. Yeah.
Both
No.
our heads turn so quick.
Look, y'all know what went up our noses.
Whoa, hold on. The wrong demographic gonna think I ain't snowboarding. I'll put it that way.
Look, that's not the. Well, yeah. Everybody
Some
already
booger
knows that.
sugar.
Yeah, that wasn't even an option. I don't even know what we're talking about now.
I guess we could jump back to intention, cause
Okay.
honestly, I'm kind of off that it wasn't recording because the fact what
That's
you were
better,
talking
'cause
about
I
was
was fumbling
game.
and bumbling, but
Bro, you were so coherent. That's the thing. When you really start spitting high level shit, because you be running through it so quick, it really does feel like you are stammering, stuttering, blah, blah,
right.
blah. Bro, everything you said was some game. That's what I'm saying. Like, it sucks that I don't have that recorded.
So we can go back to it though. That's easy. Intention. So some crucial. Actually, I just some crucial books that I've read, and I've gained my perspective by taking bits and pieces that stuck with me and that made sense to me from those books. One was The Science of Success
Ooh,
by Wallace D. Wattles.
that's
Two
right.
was The Way of the Superior Man. I forget who's that's by. But and then another one, which I believe it talks about it was a little bit was also the Four Agreements.
Love that.
It was there were some pieces and there was like okay they're connecting the dots for me, and just from my own experiences that I was going through. What's that little friend?
I don't even know if it's on the cam, but my fault. Keep going.
No, you're great. But intention. I, as a young man, as we keep finding our journeys, we're crafting our own paths and being intentional about the decisions that I'm making now, whether that's in what I want to do for work, whether that's in what I do for my own physical health now. It's like I don't play sports anymore, so being intentional about my exercise, which sounds weird because all I've ever done my whole life was play sports and be active. But now fitting that into a schedule that, one, isn't mandatory as far as I'm being told to go do it, or it's also not for the goal of going to college anymore, or to another level of, athletic achievement. So that's been a little bit different. Being intentional with relationships, whether that's with family, friends, obviously significant others.
That's actually one I would like to talk about if you don't mind deviating.
Yeah.
Bruh, being intentional with the relationships you have with a partner, but even friendships, has been one of the biggest things that's been game changing for me. Like, what's actually so wild is obviously, me and my girl, we chop it up about everything. That's like best friend type. But we were talking about how I personally needed to get rid of some, I'll say acquaintances, because they weren't necessarily friends. And the main reason I realized that was just because of the fact when I started to explain how you and I chop it up, how you and I both continually grow our minds, read books, reevaluate ourselves, reassess situations.
Emphasis on reevaluate. Just because you know something today does not mean you know the same thing tomorrow. It may be different.
And something you even brought up last time was every time you reread a book, you read it through the lens of where you are in life today,
Right.
right? And so it was like I was telling him how when you and I connect, because since we were like 8, we saw each other maybe once per year, once or twice per year, stayed the night, hung out, linked up, but the vibe was always cool and we were always mentally leveling up together. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it was always one of those things where even though our journeys were never like the road we were driving on were never real close, they were always parallel. So
Parallel
sometimes they would intersect.
Yeah.
Feel me? And so I was like
That's a good word to
explaining
use
that.
to describe us, I feel like. Because that, it's just something, it's like, okay, different, but man, we keep having such similar, one, experiences,
Mm-hmm.
two, thought processes, even though we know we've been seeing and talking about how we've been changing, but lots of people have different changes that they go through. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of our changes have been similar, and the new things that we've been realizing and how we've been putting the pieces together have been similar. So parallel, and when I was subbing today, they were doing parallel lines in math class. So that's funny how, isn't that funny how that works?
Life works in mysterious ways, man. Let me say that again. God works in mysterious
Yeah,
ways. Let me not play with the big God.
one and the same.
But the like main reason I got to that and continued on that conversation was I was like, one thing that I've always known about people like you, my boy Ezra Miller, my brother
Yeah,
Isaiah Fields, though he's a little quirky sometimes, is that y'all are great people and I respect you and your vision and how you guys want to move through life. But there's other friends that I see traits in that I'm like, if you weren't my friend from a time before now, I would not
be a
fuck with
rap.
you.
Yeah,
Cause like there's certain moments I've seen friends do shit to other friends and I'm like, in the right situation, you do this to me for less. And so I'm
yeah,
like, damn,
yeah,
when it comes to the relationships that you're fostering, especially with your woman, the one who's supposed to be the queen on your chessboard, but even with your friends, your rooks, your knights, your bishops, even the pawns, your acquaintances in your life, if you're just letting these random people come in with no real intention of how they're supposed to add to your life and what purpose they can have in your life, oh, you fucked the whole game up because now people aren't going to be able to, one, be in the right position in your life to truly add value, but also, two, they're just not going to respect you for a certain level because a lot of people, if you don't teach them how to respect you and the direction their respect needs to go for you, they're just going to disrespect you and you're going to feel butthurt.
yeah.
Does that all make sense? I feel like I was rambling and going in hella directions, but
No, I hear you. And I think, especially, that's been something with social media. People, it almost seems played out. It's like, oh, what do you bring to my life? And I think that's because the perspective that many people, I won't even say most, seems like most, that just may be my feed, but it's like many people come with, okay, what do you bring into my life? And that's from a, what can I get out of you?
mm-hmm.
Which is, again, we didn't record it earlier, but that competitive space.
Yeah.
Just because someone comes into your life, um, what they bring doesn't necessarily have to be something that you don't build with them. I think that's the thing where it's like, okay, we we work because we challenge each other to grow or learn, or you know what I'm saying? So it's not just, oh, I'm gonna come bring you some business opportunities, which obviously if you can, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a very concrete way of adding, value to someone's life, is if you have something like that. Um, but I think more often than not, and especially since we're talking about relationships, um, most of those things, whether it's friendships or even with family, which that's different dynamics, because now, okay, where do you draw lines with family and stuff? But it's like the people that I want to keep bringing into my life, right? Or
Yeah,
if I want, I mean, because at the same time, I'm joining their life as well. So what am I bringing to the table?
100%.
I'm going to keep creatively adding value, right? So I'm going to think about different ways that we can build whatever that may be. So whether it's okay, we are unlocking all this new info together because we're reading stuff, we're watching videos, we're
Mm-hmm.
having whatever these talks are unlocking for us. This is a creative way that we're adding to each other's, scenarios, situations, experiences.
Psyches,
Right, all of that. Spirituality, it could be so many different things. Um,
100%.
so it's like, man, that creative part, I know we've been talking about intention, but that I have been preaching to myself for the last few months. Ever since I read that, it made so much sense. It was like, man, how can I keep being creative in all of my scenarios in life? How can I challenge myself to improve everyone around me? I'm going to improve myself, which is
Hold
therefore
on.
going to improve everyone.
I'm finna post stuff for a
Yeah.
second, but you can keep going.
I don't know. I think that creative thing is like, it's just been crucial in the perspective, and I think that perspective has allowed me to question myself, but not in ways that are demeaning, but in ways that are clarifying again.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot. It's allowed to. Sometimes you feel boxed in or trapped in certain ways, and it's our thought process. Right, probably breezy, but
Yeah.
man, thought processes, and I think I've been introduced to some information that has really expanded my thought processes for sure. So
Yeah, I guess we could start walking again. But nah, I 100% agree. So I guess then I'll ask you, what is your mode to find your level of creativity? What's your mode of increasing your creativity and putting yourself in a situation where your creativity can flow?
putting myself in a position where my creativity can flow.
Yes, sir.
So this I'm still exploring because I have been I work well with relative structure. So whenever there was a response in school and it was like, all right, you can do whatever you want, I hated those. It was like, okay, give me at least a prompt. Like,
Yeah.
I'll do the rest, but give me a prompt, right? But so as far as different creative outlets, I've been exploring. It's like whether that's through movement, I just started journaling. I've been doing different meditation type things, listening to different music, right? I love rap and R&B, but I'm listening to way more genres and stuff where it's like, okay, this is gonna just expand a little bit. What clicks different? I know how I feel when I listen to, you know, any rapper. How am I gonna feel when I listen to this electric flute music? Like what's gonna click different? Um,
Oh,
hello. Oh, I don't know what. Oh yeah, I seen that.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that dog's really trying to. Hold on, he was not playing.
No, yeah, he
We should
about
not
that.
make eye contact either, cause anyway,
Ah, you was shy. Whoa, hold on, that lighting hitting. Look at the
going
teeth,
crazy.
boy.
Go flossing,
Ah,
go flossing.
feel- nigga, you're ugly.
Uh,
Hold
but
on,
in
wait.
creatively, man, I'm thinking about literally building. Everyone I meet with, I want to build something. I want to build something. Um, Lots of times we get defensive about things, or in which we judge people and different things. That's how human nature is. But when I catch myself, I try to constantly catch myself. Really, actually, that's it. That awareness. I catch myself when I get defensive, or when I'm thinking, "Ooh, I gotta be this certain way to, guard this perception or whatever." And it's like, man, none of that matters
Nah,
because
most deaf. Like, I feel like that's one of the biggest struggles I've had to deal with for so long is feeling I needed to be a specific way. When in reality, genuinely, I've created something called the fuck it gene. where it's like if there's anything I want to do at any point, if I start overthinking it, I literally will take a deep ass breath,
Yeah.
say fuck it, and then just do whatever without thinking about it again. And it's always worked out best for me when I was just like, fuck it. Now, granted, I shouldn't just say fuck it to every situation, and it comes to a specific point in time when you should do that.
Are we
Feel
going
me?
under this? What are we doing?
I
This
don't
kind
give
of
a
look
fuck.
crazy.
I've never actually been over
Right,
here.
this might be tough for a shoot.
No, dead ass. Hey, low key.
This would be crazy.
Hold on. We'll be back. We'll talk about some more shit. I'm about to record some of this. This is wild.
We got some exploring to do.
Yeah. Ooh. Alright, yo. So we walking back from the beach. We actually just got a pretty cool shoot. I got a couple good vids of Shay before my camera starts to die. But he just said the coldest line. Wait, did I say it?
Nah, I said it, but it was,
He said
it. From that book that I've been reading. And we just, go ahead, tell them how the context.
So pretty much we were talking about Dan Coe, Myron Golden, and Alex Hormozy, and one of their quotes that they all reference, which is all work works. It doesn't matter whether or not it doesn't work in the way you want it to. If you put an input in, you're supposed to get a specific output from said input. And you're gonna get it whether you notice it or not, and it's gonna develop and change over time. And so I was talking about how a lot of people work at being broke and they don't realize it. They take work. Ultimately, they get so good at broke, they turn it into science. And he was talking about the book that he read and was like, oh, yeah.
Which is the science of success. So, yep, we came up with the science of being broke.
Exactly. Not as funny when I explain it because, you feel me, it's not in the moment. But, hold on. Let me switch to this man.
It's okay. We're going to enjoy it anyway.
Moses
That
Jeff.
shit was funny.
Sorry,
How you doing?
Hey. Yes, ma'am. Making my second vlog so far, so.
Oh, really?
Yes, ma'am.
Indeed.
Hello. So just my name, Terrell A. Banks. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll subscribe you.
Oh, appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
cool.
you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Enjoy
You
your
too.
day. Man, coming from a creative place. Look at that.
And
Funny how that works.
it's hilarious. We were talking about that earlier. You feel so weird trying to do this out in public, but when you do, people actually support a lot more than you would expect.
Right.
And so that was a dope thing. We getting in the whip, so give us a second. We'll be back on the cam to talk in a few.